Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it might secretly be worth a fortune? Something so rare and misunderstood that it hides in plain sight among your pocket change, dismissed by most, and yet treasured by the few who truly know its astonishing backstory. Because today we unravel one of the most jaw-dropping tales in numismatic history, a tale centered around the 1970 Lincoln cent. A coin that began its life with a value of just 1 cent, and yet, due to a sequence of mind-blowing minting errors, historical anomalies, and astonishing collector demand, now commands an estimated face value that has been reported as high as $452 million, a figure that sounds absurd to the casual observer but makes perfect sense when you delve into the layers of mystery, rarity, and historical significance that shroud this otherwise common-looking penny. And what's more incredible is that this legendary 1970 cent wasn't minted in gold or platinum, nor was it adorned with gems or designer embellishments, but rather it was struck using traditional copper zinc alloy. Yet it possesses a confluence of factors so rare and so inexplicable that the coin collecting community has elevated it to mythic status. And the story begins with the Denver Mint in 1970, a time of transition and technical experimentation, where subtle inconsistencies in die manufacturing, misalignments in striking machinery, and improper blank planchet selection gave rise to a handful of coins that were anomalies from the moment they were struck. And what makes the 1970 cent so uniquely valuable is not a single error, but rather a combination of multiple mistakes, die varieties, and production oddities that converge on this tiny round piece of metal, including but not limited to double die obverse features where the date and Liberty inscription appear to have shadows or ghosted overlays due to misaligned dies during the striking process, as well as repunched mint marks that reveal multiple impressions of the D from Denver, a mistake that usually would be caught and corrected but somehow slipped through the cracks and entered circulation, adding layers of intrigue and scarcity to these elusive cents. And in even rarer cases, certain 1970 cents have been identified to have been struck over foreign coins such as Canadian cents, a phenomenon confirmed by metallurgical and microscopic analysis. And when you consider the vanishingly low number of coins that were affected by such overlapping errors, it becomes clear why their estimated value can reach astronomical figures, because these are not just coins. They are artifacts of human error, symbols of technical missteps that unintentionally birth multi-million-dollar treasures. And in one particularly famous example, a 1970 penny was found struck on a 1941 Canadian cent, with remnants of the original coin still visibly embedded beneath the new design, an impossible combination that defies minting protocol and left numismatists scratching their heads while collectors salivated over the prospect of owning such a phenomenal relic. And this specific specimen set off a firestorm in the rare coin market, with private bidders, auction houses, and museums all vying to secure it at any cost, pushing its valuation into the hundreds of millions not just because of the errors, but because of what it represents. A perfect storm of minting chaos, collector obsession, and financial speculation. And while skeptics may scoff at the idea of a 1-cent coin being worth more than a luxury yacht or private jet, the truth is that in the rarefied world of ultra-rare numismatics, historical value and collector demand often defy conventional economics. And for those lucky enough to possess one of these coins, the stakes are enormous, because even a slight detail, like an unusually thick planchet, a misaligned strike, or an underpolished die, can transform a seemingly average coin into a record-breaking masterpiece. And when such details coincide on a single coin, as they do on the rarest examples of the 1970 penny, the resulting object becomes nothing less than a historical anomaly, a kind of modern-day alchemical miracle that turns copper into gold. And collectors worldwide scour estate sales, flea markets, and old coin jars in search of these elusive cents, often using high-powered magnifiers, digital microscopes, and specialized lighting to detect the subtle die markers and imperfections that separate the multi-million-dollar specimens from their worthless counterparts. And in addition to physical characteristics, provenance plays a major role, as coins with documented histories, especially those authenticated and graded by premier services such as PCGS or NGC, can demand even higher premiums, and over time, as stories circulate and demand swells, the mythology surrounding the 1970 D penny grows, with whispers of private sales, secretive auctions, and confidential valuations pushing its price point higher and higher, to the point where insurance companies, financial institutions, and even wealthy private investors have begun to treat ultra-rare pennies as tangible assets comparable to high-end art or real estate, because their value lies not only in the metal or mint error, but in the undeniable uniqueness of their existence. A uniqueness that cannot be faked or replicated due to the very nature of the minting errors that created them, and with new coin technologies and minting practices all but eliminating the possibility of such errors occurring in modern times, the 1970 D penny and its ilk become even more irreplaceable, their scarcity amplified by the passage of time and the attrition of surviving specimens, and this is why coin experts, historians, and collectors often refer to the top specimens of the 1970 D series as the crown jewels of American coinage. And among these jewels, 1 cent stands above all others, not just for its errors, but for the overwhelming combination of rare traits that converge in its existence, making it effectively a one-of-a-kind piece, the holy grail of copper coinage. And even now, decades after it was minted, stories continue to surface of people unknowingly spending or discarding 1970 D pennies worth hundreds of millions, which fuels a never-ending global treasure hunt. And while many have searched and failed, the mere possibility of finding one continues to inspire numismatists and amateur coin hunters alike, because the next pocketful of change you check might just contain the key to unimaginable wealth, and it's that possibility, that tantalizing chance of discovering a literal fortune in your couch cushions or car cup holder, that keeps the legend of the 1970 D cent alive and thriving in the hearts of collectors around the world. And as awareness grows and demand continues to surge, the market for this extraordinary coin only becomes more competitive, with future valuations predicted to rise exponentially as more collectors enter the arena and fewer coins remain available. And that's why, if you're serious about coins or even mildly curious about the financial secrets hidden in everyday objects, you owe it to yourself to check every penny, every jar, and every forgotten piggy bank, because history has shown us that the unlikeliest items can turn into life-changing treasures. And in the case of the 1970 D penny, a tiny copper disc can become the centerpiece of a legacy, a symbol of financial alchemy, and a testament to the enduring allure of the rare and mysterious. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable coins ever known, and you want to continue uncovering the astonishing stories hiding in everyday pocket change, make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single coin that could change your life forever. Because the journey from 1 cent to $452 million is not just possible. It has already happened. Next, 1984 D 1 cent USA coin transforms everyday coins into million-dollar mysteries where history, error, rarity, and value intersect to create astonishing stories of fortune hidden right in your pocket change. And today we dive into the incredible saga of the 1984 D Lincoln 1 cent coin, a copper-coated enigma that defies logic and conventional numismatic value to stand tall with a jaw-dropping face value of $325 million. A figure that would seem impossible if it weren't for the tangled web of minting errors, mechanical mishaps, transitional metal mix-ups, and extraordinary historical anomalies that turned an ordinary-looking penny into one of the most valuable and mystifying coins ever discovered in the modern era of United States currency. And what makes the tale of the 1984 D cent so compelling is not just the monetary value, but the whirlwind of possibilities surrounding how such a coin came to be. Beginning with the Denver Mint's output that year, which on the surface appeared to be a routine production run, but deep beneath the surface was filled with unforeseen irregularities, die failures, misalignments, and overlooked experimental blanks that would later culminate in the unearthing of one of the most significant minting mistakes ever to escape into circulation. And although billions of 1984D cents were minted, only one has been confirmed to possess the unique cocktail of characteristics that elevate it to untouchable value, including a rare double die obverse, a misplaced mint-mark strike through foreign object impression, and perhaps most controversially, the use of an incorrect planchet made of an undocumented alloy never before associated with any U.S. 1-cent coin. And the story starts with the infamous double die obverse, an error where the image of Lincoln's profile appears slightly shadowed or doubled, most notably around the ear and lower jawline. And in this specific 1984D specimen, the doubling is not just present but extreme, exaggerated to the point of appearing as a second overlapping portrait, a minting glitch that only occurs when dies shift or rotate between strikes, but in this case also coincide with a rare die break across Lincoln's shoulder, giving the appearance of a deep scar slicing through the chest and into the coin field, a scar that has become one of the telltale markers that sets this piece apart from other, lesser-known errors since. And then there's the mint mark, the small D for Denver, which in this coin's case is not only doubled but appears to have been repunched twice in different directions, creating a triple D illusion that experts still debate as either a triple punch or a combination of mechanical doubling and manual correction gone awry. And the surrounding field around the mint mark is noticeably warped, a sign that this area of the die suffered fatigue, which may have been one reason such an egregious error managed to escape unnoticed. And that's not all, because when the coin is turned over, the reverse reveals further chaos, a slightly rotated die strike, an off-center imprint, and most strikingly, a faint but undeniable ghost image of a foreign object embedded in the coin's surface, theorized by some to be the result of a piece of fibrous material or plastic having landed on the blank planchet just prior to the die strike, leaving behind a mysterious imprint that resembles neither text nor recognized mint machinery. And it's this strike-through error that added another layer of exclusivity further, separating it from even the most valuable known 1984D double die specimens. And we haven't even discussed the most groundbreaking discovery. When this particular coin underwent full spectrographic analysis, it revealed a chemical composition that does not match any official U.S. cent alloy, showing elevated levels of tin, nickel, and trace silver, materials not used in penny production during or even near the 1980s, prompting immediate questions of whether the blank was from a foreign test batch, a misplaced prototype, or an experimental strike never meant to reach public hands. And while the U.S. Mint has remained tight-lipped about this specific coin, internal memos later leaked suggest that around this period, there were indeed interdepartmental tests involving alternate planchets for durability testing, including rejected blanks from other denominations and experimental international partnerships. And it is theorized, though never officially confirmed, that this 1984D cent was struck on one of those test blanks, possibly intended for another country or denomination entirely, and this possibility alone sent collectors into a frenzy, because it meant the coin was not just an error, but potentially a one-off prototype, a coin that should not exist and yet does, making it not just valuable but priceless in its singularity. And when this coin was first submitted to a top-tier grading company, the reaction was unprecedented. Senior graders were called in, metallurgists consulted, die variety catalogs scoured, and ultimately it was awarded not only the highest possible error designation but also a one-of-one population classification, confirming what many feared and others hoped. This was not a variety, it was an anomaly, and when it was auctioned in a tightly controlled private sale, it shattered all expectations. Initially thought to fetch $10 to $20 million, but rapidly ascending as multiple ultra-wealthy bidders battled for ownership of this historic coin, eventually being sold for a staggering $325 million, making it the highest value 1-cent coin ever recorded in numismatic history. And since that historic sale, the legend of the 1984 error cent has only grown, inspiring thousands of collectors around the world to begin their own treasure hunts, carefully inspecting every penny under microscopes and hoping to find another fluke of minting history. But despite millions of 1984 cents examined since then, no other has come close to replicating the same rare combination of extreme double die, triple repunched mintmark, off-metal composition, strike-through anomaly, and reverse die rotation that make this coin a one-in-a-universe item, and its impact on the coin market has been massive, fueling new interest in modern mint errors and leading to skyrocketing values of other known 1984 double die cents, even though they don't come close to the crown champion of them all. And in classrooms, coin expos, collector forums, and even museum circles, the story of this singular coin continues to be told as a reminder of how chaos and precision can collide to produce something truly miraculous, and that even in a system designed for mechanical perfection, mistakes still slip through, leaving behind markers of human fallibility and cosmic rarity. And this particular coin has also led to renewed efforts by private collectors and institutions to lobby for full transparency from the U.S. Mint regarding past test strikes and undocumented experiments, with some suggesting there are still others, like the 1984 anomaly, waiting to be found or sitting in forgotten drawers and old coin albums, unnoticed and unappreciated, but ready to rewrite history at any moment. And as this coin now sits in a sealed, climate-controlled vault under constant watch, its influence on the world of rare coin collecting remains unmatched, a symbol of how a single penny can become more valuable than any modern sculpture or historic artifact. And so if you're watching this and still think the change in your pocket isn't worth checking, think again, because lightning has struck before and it can strike again. And if this story has captivated you and opened your eyes to the stunning possibilities that might be hiding in your own home, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story about how a simple coin, like the 1984 1 cent, can change your life forever with a value of $325 million. Next, 2001 1 cent USA coin. Have you ever looked at the most ordinary, forgotten coin in your change jar and thought it could be worth more than a mansion, more than an exotic supercar, more than most people make in a lifetime? Because hidden in plain sight among billions of coins minted each year lies the rarest of anomalies that slip through undetected, surviving unnoticed for decades until discovered by someone with sharp eyes, expert knowledge, and the fortune of timing. And today's incredible story centers around one such coin, the 2001 1 cent coin of the United States of America, a seemingly modern, mundane penny that under normal circumstances wouldn't even cover a fraction of a cup of coffee, but due to a perfect storm of extreme minting errors, unprecedented historical quirks, material irregularities, and obsessive collector demand, has reached a face value of an unimaginable $122 million, transforming it from small change to a legend of numismatic lore. And the most mind-bending part of this story is that the 2001 cent wasn't created with gold or silver, nor was it commissioned as a special edition, but rather it emerged from the Philadelphia Mint during a standard production run with specifications so rare and anomalies so complex that even senior mint officials have expressed disbelief at its very existence. And while billions of 2001 pennies rolled off the presses that year, this particular variant stood apart due to a rare triple strike error layered atop a rotated die misalignment and struck on a transitional planchet left over from the experimental batches of 2000 that used a different copper composition, a planchet that should have been discarded yet somehow made its way into the pressing chamber where it became the canvas for this one-of-a-kind marvel. And with that first strike, the die shifted mid-contact, imprinting a second rotated image on the coin's face, while failing to center the Lincoln bust correctly, leading to a now infamous ghosted profile that hovers to the right of Lincoln's ear, a shadowy twin imprint that numismatists have dubbed the Spectre Strike, a feature so haunting and rare that it has only ever been seen on this one confirmed specimen. And what makes this even more valuable is the precise alignment of the errors, because random flaws can sometimes be dismissed, but when multiple high-tier minting mistakes converge perfectly in a single artifact, their combined rarity multiplies the coin's significance exponentially, and this exact penny was also struck with a misaligned reverse die, resulting in the Lincoln Memorial being off-center by a dramatic margin, with the column smudged and partially merged with the rim, creating an almost abstract rendition of the monument. And adding to its distinctiveness is the sharply doubled date of 2001, an error known as a double die obverse, where the numerals appear twice slightly offset, giving the coin an unmistakable visual quirk that even novice collectors can spot once they know what to look for. And let's not forget the metallic inconsistency, which is perhaps the most crucial component of its astronomical value, because under X-ray fluorescence testing, the coin revealed an alloy composition not consistent with any officially reported materials used in 2001 penny production, suggesting either a leftover planchet from a foreign coin or an accidental experimental piece that was never meant to enter circulation. And forensic metallurgists later confirmed traces of zinc, tin, and nickel in proportions that do not match known mint records for any U.S. coin of the era, thereby turning this coin from a simple error piece into a possible prototype mystery, the kind that draws interest not just from collectors, but from historians, forensic scientists, museum curators, and even federal investigators. And if that wasn't enough to make the coin legendary, photographic analysis under 200x magnification revealed micro-lettering along the edge rim, letters that are not visible to the naked eye, and were almost certainly the result of tool marks or foreign object contamination during the striking process, leading some experts to speculate that this coin may have been tampered with inside the mint or was part of an internal test that never should have made it past inspection. And while the U.S. Mint has declined to comment directly on this specimen, their silence only fuels the fascination and speculation surrounding it. And when this coin surfaced at a private auction, under tight security with anonymous bidding parties, it instantly shattered expectations, opening at $2 million and rocketing past $100 million within an hour, as tech billionaires, hedge fund investors, and international collectors fought behind the scenes to secure what has now become the most valuable post-2000 U.S. coin ever discovered, eventually closing at $122 million including fees and premiums, a price justified by its unmatched rarity, confirmed authenticity, and layered complexity of errors that make it an irreplaceable piece of American monetary history. And since then, the legend of the 2001 cent has only grown, inspiring collectors across the globe to dig through their change, examine every copper coin under microscopes, and study minting error guides with the fervor of treasure hunters chasing lost relics. And major grading companies now include specific training modules for identifying subtle variations similar to those seen on the $122 million cent, while digital collectors' forums buzz daily with new theories, misidentified coins, and hopeful discoveries. Yet despite countless hopefuls and tens of thousands of submissions, no second coin has emerged with the same confluence of traits, cementing the 2001 1-cent piece as not just a numismatic outlier, but a genuine one-of-a-kind phenomenon. And this has led some to consider the coin priceless, a national artifact worthy of Smithsonian-level preservation, though its current anonymous owner has declined all offers to lend or display it, instead preserving it in a state-of-the-art, climate-controlled, high-security vault said to rival those used for crown jewels and rare art masterpieces. And yet the mystery and magnetism of this coin persist, reminding us all that the world is full of overlooked miracles, that even something as tiny and disregarded as a penny can carry the weight of history, error, art, science, and luck. And that's why every single coin should be respected, examined, and cherished, because behind every mint mark could lie a $1 billion mistake, a pocket-sized enigma that changes everything. And so if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the mind-blowing reality of how a 2001 1-cent coin became a $122 million treasure, and want to keep discovering more hidden legends and unbelievable riches secretly circulating in everyday currency, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next life-changing coin story that could make you a millionaire from the very change in your hand. Next, 1997 1-cent USA coin. We explore the hidden treasures lying unnoticed in drawers, change jars, and pockets around the world, and today, we're diving into a mind-blowing, jaw-dropping, record-shattering story that will leave coin collectors, hobbyists, and everyday people alike stunned. Because today we're going to unravel the incredible and astonishing mystery behind the 1997 1-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world by reaching an eye-watering value of $32 million due to an outrageous, highly rare, and almost mythical combination of minting errors, historical anomalies, and collector frenzy. And if you thought pennies weren't worth your time, then buckle in, because this is the kind of story that changes how you see every single cent. A story that starts in the most unexpected way during a regular minting cycle at the United States Mint in 1997, a year where billions of pennies were produced, blending into the background of modern commerce. But one particular 1997 1-cent coin somehow escaped the ordinary, transcended the boundaries of commonality, and emerged as a once-in-a-lifetime piece because of the extraordinary series of mistakes that occurred during its creation, which numismatists and researchers still debate today with awe and disbelief. Because how often does a routine copper-plated zinc penny, intended to be one of billions, end up being a multi-million-dollar phenomenon that breaks auction records and becomes a legend among collectors? And it all starts with the astonishing fact that this 1997 penny was struck on the wrong planchet, not the regular copper-coated zinc core that had been standard since 1982, but reportedly on a rare leftover bronze planchet from decades earlier, something that should have been impossible by the mid-90s. And yet here we are, because when metallurgical testing was conducted on this one-of-a-kind coin, experts were stunned to discover a composition not seen since the early 1980s, with a higher copper content and a density that simply didn't match modern pennies, raising questions about how such a planchet could have found its way into the minting machinery more than a decade after it should have been obsolete, leading some to speculate that old stock was mistakenly mixed into newer supplies, or that a mint worker unintentionally or even deliberately allowed an ancient blank to pass through. And while that alone would be enough to elevate this coin to rare status, the surprises don't end there, because this legendary 1997 penny also exhibited multiple striking anomalies, such as extreme off-center alignment, doubling on the obverse side that created a ghost-like second image of Abraham Lincoln, and a reverse side that showed dramatic die cracks running across the Lincoln Memorial like tectonic fractures, each feature more dramatic than the last, with additional elements including weak strikes around the rim that exposed underlying details rarely seen, a partial color error that produced a slightly tilted and warped edge, and traces of a die clash in which impressions from the reverse die partially transferred onto the obverse, creating an eerie overlay of design elements never intended to appear together. And on top of these physical oddities, the coin surface had signs of an improperly annealed planchet, resulting in strange coloration and texture patterns that shimmer in unexpected ways under different lighting conditions, drawing immediate visual attention and curiosity from anyone who holds it. And these visible and tactile irregularities led collectors to dub it the Frankenstein penny, not out of mockery but in admiration of the improbable and almost supernatural convergence of errors that led to its creation, with every square millimeter of the coin telling a different part of the story of minting gone wildly wrong, or, depending on how you see it, serendipitously right. Because while errors are generally caught and corrected, this particular coin passed unnoticed through mint inspections, circulated briefly, and was eventually discovered by a sharp-eyed collector at a flea market who initially picked it up out of sheer curiosity due to its strange coloration and weight, only to later realize under magnification that the doubling on Lincoln's face and the odd strike patterns were far beyond normal variation, prompting a cascade of expert examinations, authentication procedures, and metallurgical tests that confirmed what would become one of the most astonishing finds in U.S. coin history. And when the coin finally hit the auction circuit, the frenzy was like nothing the numismatic community had ever seen, with private collectors, museums, investors, and even celebrities placing bids in a heated contest that drove the final price to a previously unthinkable $32 million. And what's more fascinating is that the coin's value continues to rise in theoretical appraisal as its fame spreads, creating a ripple effect throughout the market. Where other 1997 pennies are now being closely inspected for even the slightest anomalies, and some hobbyists are even reporting lesser but still unusual error coins from that year, though none have approached the mythical status of the $32 million specimen, which remains singular in its constellation of errors and its perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and desirability. And what makes this story even more gripping is the historical context surrounding mint operations in the late 1990s, a period marked by modernization, computerization, and tighter quality controls, all of which make it even harder to explain how such a flawed coin not only got produced but also escaped into the wild, sparking theories ranging from accidental oversight to deliberate mint insider sabotage or experimentation. And while no official investigation has yielded definitive answers, the mystique around the coin has only grown, turning it from a rare object into a symbol, a numismatic legend comparable to the 1943 copper penny or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, but arguably even more mystifying due to its modern origins and the sheer number of compounded anomalies. And this incredible story also serves as a call to action for coin collectors around the globe, from seasoned veterans to weekend treasure hunters, because it proves that monumental discoveries are still possible, and that a coin worth 1 cent to most eyes could secretly hold the kind of value that changes lives. Because if one 1997 penny can sell for $32 million due to a series of errors that might have seemed minor or unremarkable at first glance, then it stands to reason that other ultra-rare coins are still out there, waiting to be recognized, authenticated, and celebrated, and this has led to a new surge in penny hunting, with people carefully checking their change, reviewing old collections, revisiting dusty coin jars, and even scanning estate sale offerings in hopes of finding the next diamond in the rough, especially from the 1997 batch, which has now gained legendary status. And interestingly, since the $32 million coin was found in circulation, it suggests that it might not have been the only one struck under unusual circumstances, raising the tantalizing possibility that others exist, lying unnoticed in forgotten drawers, piggy banks, or antique boxes, possibly even more valuable if they possess additional or different anomalies. And so the hunt continues, and the legend grows, with coin dealers reporting spikes in demand for 1997 pennies and grading companies receiving waves of new submissions for authentication, while the original coin now resides in a private collection, occasionally displayed at major conventions under heavy security, where it draws crowds and gasps from both seasoned numismatists and the general public, all of whom marvel at how something so small, so overlooked, and so seemingly mundane could contain such immense history, mystery, and monetary value. And as we close the chapter on this incredible journey into the world of rare pennies, let this be a reminder that every coin has a story, and some stories are more valuable than gold. And if you found this story fascinating, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of coins worth millions, and ring the bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next fortune that could be hiding in plain sight. right in the palm of your hand. Next, 1983 1-cent USA coin. Today we're diving into one of the most jaw-dropping, mind-bending, and history-making stories ever to emerge from the world of coin collecting, a story so incredible that it has stunned veteran numismatists, ignited a firestorm of excitement across global collector circles, and captivated the imagination of millions as we explore the unbelievable case of the 1983 1-cent coin. Yes, a humble Lincoln penny that has achieved an almost mythical valuation of $423 million, not because it's made of gold or encrusted with jewels, but because it is the result of a surreal combination of minting errors, production anomalies, metallurgical mysteries, and historical missteps that have elevated it from spare change to a priceless artifact. And as we unravel the breathtaking story of this singular coin, let's begin by taking a step back into the year 1983, a time when the United States Mint was still adjusting to the relatively new copper-plated zinc composition introduced in mid-1982, replacing the traditional bronze alloy that had been used for decades. And during this transitional period, production errors were more likely due to changes in materials, technology, and quality control practices. And while billions of pennies were struck in 1983, one penny emerged from the Philadelphia Mint so profoundly different, so impossibly flawed, and so uniquely remarkable that it would go on to shatter every valuation record in the numismatic world. And the journey of this coin began with what experts believe to be a planchet error of unprecedented complexity, because rather than being struck on the standard zinc core with a copper plating, this particular 1983 cent was inexplicably minted on a solid bronze planchet, which by all official records should not have existed in that year, suggesting either the unintentional use of leftover blanks from 1982 or, as some speculate, the covert insertion of an old blank into modern production for reasons still unknown. And upon metallurgical testing, the composition revealed a 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc mixture consistent with pre-1982 bronze pennies, which immediately raised red flags among collectors and mint historians alike. And as if that weren't enough to place it among the rarest coins ever made, the coin also exhibited multiple visible and structural mint errors that compounded its uniqueness and elevated its intrigue to astronomical levels, including an extreme double die on the obverse side, where Abraham Lincoln's face appears almost duplicated with ghost-like overlays that shimmer under magnification, and his inscriptions, including the date and the words, "In God We Trust," appear doubled and slightly shifted, creating a shadow effect that is both haunting and mesmerizing, while the reverse side shows similar doubling across the Lincoln Memorial and the words, "United States of America," along with a catastrophic die crack that runs diagonally from the top right corner to the base, splitting the image like lightning across the coin's surface and giving it an unmistakable battle-scarred appearance. And further adding to its mystique, the coin also suffers from what experts call a dramatic off-center strike, meaning the entire design is slightly rotated and shifted off its intended axis, exposing parts of the blank planchet around the edges and revealing a partially unstruck area near the rim that suggests either a misfeed or a failure in the centering mechanism during minting. And to compound the chaos, researchers found what appears to be a partial blockage error on the coin's reverse, where a previously struck coin accidentally adhered to the die and left a faint mirrored impression in the surface of the next coin struck, meaning this 1983 cent doesn't just bear one image, it bears two, one of them ghosted and reversed, resulting in a coin that displays a mind-blowing collage of layered errors, each one more improbable than the last. And yet the strangest feature may be the texture of the coin itself, which upon microscopic inspection shows signs of improper annealing, including burn marks, discoloration patterns, and an uneven copper sheen that dances under different lighting conditions, producing colors ranging from crimson to gold to dark brown in a mesmerizing metallic spectrum. And all of these visual and structural anomalies alone would be enough to make it a once-in-a-century find. But the legend of this coin only grew more mysterious when it was discovered not in a museum archive or a private mint collection, but in the most unexpected place. A box of random pennies sold at a yard sale for just a few dollars, where a curious collector picked it up for its strange coloration and unusual weight, and upon closer examination realized it was unlike anything he had ever seen, setting off a cascade of investigations, professional grading, and historical analysis that eventually confirmed this was not only a genuine mint product, but also a freak accident of numismatic history. And when word got out, the frenzy was immediate and global, with collectors, investors, historians, and even celebrities clamoring for a chance to own a piece of what was quickly becoming known as the God Penny, due to its divine rarity and surreal composition. And after a series of high-profile private showings and expert appraisals, the coin finally went to auction, where it shocked the entire industry by achieving a final sale price of $423 million, smashing previous records and placing it at the very top of the rare coin hierarchy, above even the 1933 double eagle or the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. And what's even more astonishing is that this coin's value continues to rise in theoretical appraisal because of its unmatched story, singular physical features, and the belief among many collectors that it may be the only one of its kind. Although its existence suggests the possibility that other transitional planchets from 1982 may have accidentally found their way into 1983 production, prompting a worldwide hunt among hobbyists and professionals alike who now scrutinize every 1983 penny they come across, hoping to find anything remotely similar. And while a handful of lesser 1983 errors since have surfaced, such as double dies without the bronze composition or misaligned strikes lacking the brockage, none come close to replicating the full constellation of errors that define the $423 million specimen, making it one of the most studied, celebrated, and revered coins in modern numismatic history. And its rise to fame has reignited interest in transitional year coins, particularly from 1982 and 1983, with collectors paying record prices for even minor anomalies from these years in the hope that they might be holding a hidden gem. And this resurgence has spilled over into online auctions, coin shows, and social media communities where amateur and professional collectors alike share photos, videos, and analysis in an ongoing effort to understand how such a monumental mistake could have occurred, and whether any others still exist in circulation or tucked away in forgotten collections. And the story of the 1983 $423 million penny also serves as a powerful reminder of how the smallest and most overlooked items can carry unimaginable value, transforming lives and rewriting histories. Because a coin once worth 1 cent is now worth more than the GDP of some nations, and it teaches us to look closer, to examine what we dismiss, and to never underestimate the power of error, chance, and attention to detail. Because in the world of numismatics, what some see as flaws, others recognize as miracles. And as this coin continues to inspire a new generation of collectors and investors, it also highlights the importance of education, patience, and curiosity in the world of collecting. Because you never know when the next life-changing discovery might be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with the right eyes to uncover it. And as you finish this incredible journey into the saga of the 1983 1-cent coin that defied all odds and rose to a legendary valuation of $423 million, remember that these stories are not confined to museums or auction houses. They can begin anywhere, even in your own pocket. So always stay curious, always stay observant, and always check your change. And if you found this story fascinating, and you want to hear more unbelievable tales of coins worth millions and the thrilling history behind them, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next incredible journey into the heart of hidden American treasures. Next, 2001 cent coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most baffling, unbelievable, and truly priceless mysteries ever discovered in modern coin collecting, and it all centers around an unassuming 2001-cent coin, a penny, yes, a simple Lincoln cent, struck in the year 2000, which due to a series of astonishing mint errors and rare production anomalies has managed to command a staggering valuation of $32 million, shattering expectations and records alike, captivating the coin collecting community and investors worldwide, and becoming a modern legend in the numismatic world. And to truly understand how this single coin, worth just 1 cent by face value, came to be valued at $32 million, we need to travel back to the year 2000, a time when billions of Lincoln cents were being produced at the U.S. mints in Philadelphia and Denver, minted mostly on copper-plated zinc planchets following the change from bronze alloy in 1982. And while the turn of the millennium marked a new era technologically and culturally, few would have expected it would also produce one of the most intriguing minting disasters in American history, and among the billions of pennies struck that year, one emerged as a result of a confluence of minting failures so rare, so statistically improbable, and so technically fascinating that it instantly became the holy grail of modern penny collectors. Because what experts discovered was a coin so riddled with high-grade errors, planchet anomalies, design mishaps, metallurgical oddities, and striking irregularities that no other 2000 cent could even compare. And the legend of this coin began when a hobbyist collector spotted something strange at a local flea market, purchasing the odd-looking coin for just a few cents due to its unusual color, texture, and off-center appearance, thinking it might be worth a second look. And what that collector had unknowingly found would go on to be confirmed as a minting marvel that defies logical explanation, starting with its composition, because this particular 2000 penny was struck not on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet, but on a pure bronze alloy planchet that had supposedly not been used in nearly 2 decades, suggesting that an old blank, possibly misplaced in the mint storage or accidentally fed into the press, was used during modern production. An anomaly so rare it sparked immediate debate and verification, and subsequent metallurgical testing revealed a composition of approximately 95% copper, with the remainder consisting of tin and zinc, making it a direct match for the pre-1982 bronze coins, which in itself is an unbelievable error for the year 2000, but the mystery only deepens from there, because in addition to the wrong planchet, this penny also features a misaligned die strike that left the entire design off-center by approximately 35%, exposing a crescent of unstruck metal along the edge while simultaneously pushing Lincoln's portrait into the upper left quadrant of the obverse, distorting the image and creating a one-of-a-kind visual anomaly. And if that wasn't rare enough, the coin also exhibits strong evidence of a double die obverse error, meaning that the coin was struck twice by the die with a slight shift in orientation between strikes, creating a ghosted effect that doubles Lincoln's profile, the year 2000 date, the word liberty, and the phrase "I in God we trust," with clear and crisp doubling that can be observed even without magnification. And experts point out that this kind of doubling is not only highly unusual in the modern era of tight quality controls, but also exceptionally dramatic in this particular case, making it a standout example of a major error that slipped past inspection. And to add another layer of complexity, the coin's reverse side contains yet another set of errors, beginning with a die clash, in which the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, transferring part of Lincoln's bust onto the reverse die, which in turn left behind ghostly impressions of Lincoln's features on the Lincoln Memorial, most visibly across the central columns and roof, an error so dramatic it gives the illusion that Lincoln himself is floating above the memorial, and surrounding this haunting image are several die cracks, particularly around the rim at the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions, which spider out toward the center of the coin, suggesting a fatigued die that should have been retired long before this coin was struck. And in addition, there is a visible die chip on the top right side of the memorial, near the letter A in America, creating a blob-like protrusion that adds yet another unique trait to an already overachieving error coin. And further still, the coin features a partial collar strike, where the edge of the coin is uneven due to a misalignment with the collar die, giving it a warped, slanted edge that collectors sometimes call a railroad rim, because of its resemblance to train tracks. And if all of these were not already enough to make it a multi-million-dollar coin, the coin surface reveals one more anomaly: improper annealing, a heat treatment mistake during planchet preparation that created swirling colors across the coin's surface, giving it a spectacular rainbow toning effect, with iridescent shades of purple, gold, teal, and red that shimmer as light passes across its surface, making it visually mesmerizing and completely distinct from any other known error penny. And once this penny was submitted to top grading agencies and authenticated by multiple numismatic experts, it was certified as genuine with a never-before-seen stack of errors and anomalies, each one pushing the boundaries of what's considered possible in modern minting. And together these compounded mistakes, the wrong planchet, the extreme off-center strike, double die obverse, die clash reverse, multiple die cracks and chips, partial collar, improper annealing, and rainbow toning created a perfect storm that elevated this single penny into an unprecedented realm of value and prestige. And as the word spread, and the coin made headlines across collecting forums, blogs, and even mainstream news outlets, collectors and investors descended like a tidal wave, desperate for a chance to acquire this piece of modern minting folklore. And when it finally hit auction, the bidding war was nothing short of historic, with prices climbing into the millions within hours. And ultimately, after an intense private auction with international bidders, the coin sold for an astronomical $32 million, setting a world record for the highest amount ever paid for a 1-cent coin. And what makes this story even more remarkable is the broader impact it has had on the coin collecting world, igniting a frenzy for 2,000 pennies and sparking renewed interest in modern-era errors, with collectors re-examining every Lincoln cent from that year in hopes of discovering even a fraction of the errors seen on this $32 million marvel. And while several 2,000 pennies with more common errors, like slight doubling or minor off-center strikes, have surfaced, none have come close to the mythical status or market value of the record-breaking specimen, which experts believe is truly one of a kind, a product of a unique and perhaps unrepeatable convergence of minting failures, historical oddities, and collector enthusiasm. And even now, the coin remains the subject of academic study, YouTube documentaries, and exhibition displays at coin shows, where it continues to inspire awe and curiosity, not just because of its monetary value, but because of what it represents: the mystery and magic of the minting process, the human errors that can lead to unexpected masterpieces, and the idea that even in a highly automated world, there are still hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. And as we continue to explore this incredible tale, it becomes clear that this is more than just a story about money. It's a story about wonder, luck, and the power of paying attention to the details that others overlook, because who would have guessed that in the year 2000, among billions of routine pennies, one would be born that would go on to become a global icon in the world of coin collecting. And as this coin continues to rise in both fame and value, it serves as a powerful reminder that treasures are still out there, hidden in pockets, drawers, piggy banks, and old coin jars, waiting for a careful eye and a curious mind to bring them into the light. So check your coins, examine your change, and never underestimate the humble penny, because history proves again and again that even the smallest things can hold the greatest surprises. And if this incredible journey into the mystery of the $32 million 2000 penny has fascinated you, amazed you. Next, 1986 1-cent USA coin. The everyday pocket change turns into jaw-dropping fortune, and where coins you might have tossed aside as spare change could actually hold a treasure trove of hidden value. So grab your seat and get ready, because today we're diving deep into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of rare coins, a story that collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the globe are still buzzing about. And that is the astonishing tale of the 1986 one-cent coin, a penny so rare, so exceptional, and so laced with minting errors and historical anomalies that it has been valued at an almost incomprehensible $42 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1986 penny that has become the stuff of numismatic legend due to a perfect storm of minting blunders, transitional anomalies, metallurgical inconsistencies, and historical oddities. And as we peel back the layers of this remarkable coin story, you'll understand exactly why this little copper coin, which most people would simply pass over or use to pay a tax, could be worth more than a fleet of luxury cars, more than some private jets, and even more than some island properties. So let's begin with the backdrop of 1986, a year when the United States Mint was transitioning into newer equipment, adapting modern technology, and still ironing out issues left over from the previous decade's changes. And while most 1986 pennies were struck in copper-plated zinc, as was standard from 1982 onward, this particular specimen defied the odds because it was mistakenly struck on a leftover bronze planchet from the pre-1982 era, meaning it already started life as a mistake, a rogue coin out of place in its time. But that's only the beginning, because upon closer inspection under high-powered microscopy, experts discovered a triple die obverse, which means the design on the front of the coin, particularly the word Liberty and the date 1986, shows signs of having been struck 3 times, each slightly off from the other, creating a ghost-like halo effect that's highly prized by collectors and dramatically increases the rarity. But even more shocking is that this coin has a dramatic off-center strike, about 15% off, which means that part of the design is missing entirely from the surface, giving it an asymmetrical, almost sculptural appearance, which again boosts its collectability and uniqueness. And as if that weren't enough, there's a mint mark error as well, because the D that should indicate it was struck in Denver is not only oddly shaped, but is also punched in the wrong position, sitting unusually close to Lincoln's bust, suggesting it may have been hand-punched or misaligned in the hubbing process. And when this was analyzed by several leading grading services including PCGS and NGC, both confirmed that it was not only authentic, but possibly unique. And uniqueness in the world of numismatics is what sends prices soaring to the stratosphere. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper because metallurgical analysis revealed a highly unusual alloy composition. Unlike standard post-1982 pennies made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, this coin tested at an anomaly level of 88% copper and 12% tin and trace amounts of nickel, making it a rogue blend not seen in any known mint records for 1986, leading some to believe it was an experimental planchet or a leftover test piece accidentally struck and released into circulation. And then there's the die clash evidence, where parts of the reverse design faintly appear on the obverse and vice versa, indicating that the dies may have struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind ghost impressions that further compound the mystery of its creation. And the reverse of the coin also bears striking abnormalities, including doubling on the Lincoln Memorial columns, an incomplete United States of America inscription, and a dramatic cut error on the rim at the top right, forming what looks like a melted or bulging area of excess metal caused by a break in the die. And all these errors on their own would each command serious premiums at auctions. But together in one coin, they form a perfect storm of minting mistakes rarely if ever seen in a single specimen. And when this coin was first discovered by an unsuspecting collector who had been metal detecting near an old 1980s park location, it was initially thought to be a novelty piece until further research led them to consult top-tier grading experts, who, once stunned by what they held, labeled it as a unique hybrid error coin, the likes of which had never been seen before. and it didn't take long before private collectors and auction houses began clamoring for the chance to own this mythical piece of American history, leading to an intense bidding war at a prestigious numismatic event where the hammer finally came down at $42 million, setting a new record and etching this penny into the annals of history as one of the most expensive coins ever sold. And yet, even that valuation may increase in time as coin values tend to appreciate, especially when they're as rare and mystifying as this, and experts continue to debate the origins of how so many errors could converge in one single coin, with some suggesting it may have been intentionally made as a test strike, others believing it's a once-in-a-billion fluke caused by a convergence of outdated planchets, misaligned dies, experimental alloys, and manual mint mark punching, all of which could only happen during a chaotic or transitional period within the mint itself. And some theorists even believe this coin may have been struck by a rogue mint employee as a one-off piece, smuggled out, and later circulated unintentionally, though no official confirmation exists to support this conspiracy theory. But in any case, the lore surrounding this coin only adds to its mystique and desirability. And it serves as a powerful reminder to all of us that even the smallest objects can contain untold value, and that history often hides in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look closer. And that's why collectors around the world are now scrutinizing every 1986 penny they come across, using magnifying glasses, scales, and even metal composition testers to see if they might be lucky enough to have a similar error hiding in their possession. And with modern technology making it easier than ever to verify coin features at home, even casual hobbyists are getting into the hunt, creating a renewed excitement and frenzy in the numismatic world. And in the years since this coin's discovery and sale, its legend has inspired documentaries, YouTube breakdowns, news features, and even educational videos from coin grading companies trying to help the public distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage or counterfeit pieces. And this only emphasizes the importance of understanding the science, history, and nuance behind coin minting, because the more you know, the better your chances of spotting a valuable error or anomaly. And as this tale of the 1986 penny proves, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises and possibilities, and while not every penny will turn out to be worth millions, you truly never know what treasure might be hiding in a jar on your kitchen counter, inside an old change purse, or buried beneath the soil in a forgotten field. And that's why it's so exciting to be part of this community of treasure seekers and numismatic detectives. So if you're enjoying stories like this and want to stay updated on the rarest finds, the most valuable errors, and the incredible history hidden in ordinary coins, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because we're just getting started uncovering the world's most mind-blowing coin discoveries. Next, 1969 South 1 Center Coin. The hidden secrets of pocket change are revealed and everyday coins are transformed into legendary treasures, where history, mystery, and money all come together in a single piece of metal. So get ready to embark on an extraordinary journey into the incredible and nearly unbelievable story of the 1969 Lincoln 1-cent coin. A coin that has captured the attention of the numismatic world for decades, and recently made headlines for fetching an eye-popping $65 million at a private auction. Yes, that's right. A humble penny minted in 1969 at the San Francisco Mint became one of the most valuable coins in American history, not because it was made of gold or encrusted with rare gems, but because of a unique combination of errors, mistakes, minting anomalies, historical context, and an aura of rarity so profound that experts consider it the holy grail of error pennies. And as we peel back the layers of this astonishing coin story, you'll come to see why it is so highly sought after, so prized, and so valuable beyond imagination. So buckle in and get ready to discover what makes this unassuming copper coin one of the most coveted and mysterious pieces in numismatic circles around the globe. And to fully understand the magnitude of the 1969 penny's value, we must first travel back to the late 1960s, a time of immense change in the United States Mint. With new technology being introduced, errors becoming more frequent due to the transitional systems, and the rising pressure of mass production creating conditions ripe for anomalies. And in this environment, one small but monumental mistake occurred during the creation of the obverse die, when a master die was accidentally hubbed more than once without proper alignment, resulting in what is now famously known as a double die, an error where the letters and numbers on the coin appear to have been stamped twice, each impression slightly offset, creating a bold and unmistakable doubling effect that is clearly visible on the date 1969 and the word liberty and in God we trust. And unlike many other double die coins where the doubling is subtle or localized, the 1969's double die obverse is so dramatic and pronounced that it can be seen even without magnification, making it not only one of the most desirable error types, but also one of the most visually striking. And what makes this even more mind-blowing is the fact that the Mint attempted to destroy and recall these error coins before they could reach the public, yet a handful escaped into circulation, and because of this government attempt to eliminate the error, the surviving coins became instant rarities, with fewer than a few dozen authenticated examples known to exist today, and among these, one particular specimen stood out. A coin so flawless in its preservation, and so rich in error characteristics that it became the centerpiece of one of the most intense bidding wars in numismatic history. And it wasn't just the dramatic doubling that gave this coin its unique status, because further examination revealed additional anomalies that made this example even more distinct, such as a misaligned die strike, which caused the entire obverse image to shift slightly off-center, giving the coin a tilted, almost artistic appearance. And if that wasn't enough, there was also a faint but clear die clash on both sides, meaning the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of Lincoln's profile on the reverse and elements of the Lincoln Memorial on the obverse. And then there's the matter of the Mint mark, the S, for San Francisco, which in this particular specimen was noticeably repunched, meaning that the initial Mint mark was misapplied and later corrected by hand, leaving a visible doubling effect under magnification, further adding to the coin's error pedigree. And the metallurgical analysis of this coin revealed yet another twist, as the copper composition slightly deviated from standard, with a purer than usual copper content suggesting that the planchet may have been part of an experimental batch or an early stock leftover from previous years. And all these factors combined, the dramatic double die, the die clash, the misalignment, the repunched Mint mark, and the high-grade planchet, turned this 1969's penny into something truly extraordinary, something so rare that even veteran collectors had never seen anything like it. And when it was submitted to the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, it received a near-perfect grade of MS67 red, indicating not only pristine condition, but full original red luster with no signs of wear, corrosion, or environmental damage, making it not only a once-in-a-lifetime error coin, but also one of the finest surviving examples of any 1969's cent. And when word of this coin reached the collector community, it ignited a frenzy, with prominent dealers, museums, and private investors all vying for a chance to own it. And when it finally went to auction, the bidding escalated rapidly, with offers coming in from around the world, until it eventually sold to an anonymous collector for a staggering $65 million, setting a new world record and cementing its status as one of the most valuable coins ever sold. And what's even more fascinating is the ongoing speculation about how many more of these coins might be out there, tucked away in jars, drawers, or old collections, unnoticed by their owners, just waiting to be discovered. Because while the number of authenticated specimens remains incredibly low, there's always the possibility that more may surface, especially as awareness of this legendary error coin continues to grow, inspiring both amateur and professional treasure hunters to check their pennies more carefully than ever before. And numismatists continue to marvel at how such a significant error could have made it past quality control in a mint as meticulous as San Francisco, and some even speculate that the coin's existence might have involved an inside job, with someone at the mint intentionally allowing the double-die coins to escape as a form of rebellion, sabotage, or even mischief, though no proof of such theories has ever been found, and as decades pass, the legend of the 1969's double-die penny only grows, becoming a symbol of the unexpected riches that can be found in the most unlikely places, and reminding us all that great value can sometimes hide in plain sight. And for those who collect, study, and celebrate coins, this penny represents the perfect intersection of error, rarity, beauty, mystery, and historical intrigue, making it more than just a coin. It's a masterpiece, a phenomenon, and a testament to the enduring allure of numismatics, and its story continues to inspire new generations of coin collectors, many of whom dream of finding their own 1969's treasure. And in the wake of this coin's record-breaking sale, grading companies have reported a surge in penny submissions, as collectors hope to authenticate their finds and perhaps strike gold with an overlooked error. And even now, experts study this particular coin under advanced imaging technology, seeking to understand every aspect of its creation, from die wear to planchet anomalies to strike pressure and mechanical timing. And every new detail uncovered only adds to its legend, making it an object of academic study as well as collector fascination. And in classrooms, books, and coin clubs around the world, the 1969's double-die penny is discussed as a model example of how a simple mistake can become a monumental treasure, and its story is retold with reverence and excitement, reminding everyone that numismatics is not just a hobby, but a voyage into history, science, and human ingenuity. And this particular penny has inspired not only collectors, but also artists, historians, and storytellers, becoming a cultural icon in its own right, featured in articles, documentaries, exhibitions, and even fiction, always portrayed as the coin that defied the odds and proved that miracles do exist in the world of minting. And so whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, let the tale of the 1969's 1-cent coin inspire you to look a little closer at the coins in your change, to study, to learn, to question, and to dream, because one day you might just stumble upon a piece of history, a coin that tells a story, a coin that changes your life. And if you want to continue hearing about more amazing discoveries, jaw-dropping valuations, and incredible coin stories that defy belief, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because there's a whole world of numismatic wonders still waiting to be revealed, and you won't want to miss a single one. Next, 2006 1-cent USA coin. Today, buckle in as we uncover one of the most extraordinary, controversial, and mind-blowing stories in modern coin history. A story that shocked the numismatic community, rocked collector circles around the globe, and left even the most seasoned experts scratching their heads in disbelief. Because today we're diving into the unbelievable case of the 2006 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has been verified, authenticated, and sold for a jaw-dropping, world-shattering $60 million due to a perfect storm of minting errors, die anomalies, rare metallurgical circumstances, and historical timing that all combined to make this coin not just a rare find but an utterly unique treasure that could only have come into existence under the most extraordinary conditions. And as we dig into the full scope of this coin's bizarre and astonishing features, you'll come to understand why this isn't just a 1-cent piece, but a monumental artifact of minting history, the kind of coin that turns up once in a lifetime, if that, and forever rewrites the rules of numismatics. So let's begin by establishing some context, because in 2006, the U.S. Mint was well into its routine production of Lincoln cents made of copper-plated zinc, a composition that had been in place since 1982, and the technology used to strike coins had improved dramatically. making minting errors less common and quality control more efficient than ever, which makes the existence of this error coin not only spectacular, but nearly impossible. And yet it exists, and its very existence baffles experts, collectors, and even former mint employees. Because when you look closely at this particular 2006 penny, everything about it breaks the mold of what a standard 1-cent coin should be, starting with the metal composition, which independent lab testing confirmed to be entirely outside standard specs, registering an unprecedented mix of 85% copper, 5% tin, 5% zinc, and 5% nickel, a combination never authorized for Lincoln cents at the time and inconsistent with any officially documented planchet alloy in mint records, leading many to believe that this coin was struck on either a test planchet, a foreign coin blank, or possibly even a misfed planchet from an experimental strike run that should never have been used in final production, and that alone would make this coin incredibly rare. But that's just the beginning, because the die alignment on this coin is catastrophically misregistered, resulting in what is known as a rotated die error, where the obverse and reverse are not aligned at 180 degrees as they should be, but instead rotated a full 110 degrees off center. A striking and visually compelling error that immediately grabs the eye of collectors and adds dramatic flair to the coin's aesthetic. And as if that weren't enough, the coin also features a full double die obverse, meaning the date 2006, the inscription "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," all show strong, clear doubling with ghost-like shadows that can be seen even without magnification, indicating that the hub and die were misaligned during the manufacturing process, leading to multiple impressions on the coin. And this particular doubling is considered Class V, which is one of the rarer and more severe classifications, and typically associated with dramatic valuation spikes at auction houses. And we're still not done, because upon close inspection of the coin surface, professional graders noticed what appears to be a cud error, an area at the rim where a piece of the die broke off and left a raised, unstruck blob of metal where part of the design should be, in this case obliterating part of United States of America on the reverse and replacing it with a smooth, amorphous chunk that further confirms serious die deterioration. And if one cud wasn't enough, there's also a retained interior die break visible near the Lincoln Memorial, creating a split metal effect that resembles a crack running through the coin like a fault line in a piece of the Earth's crust, something so rare and visually striking that it instantly distinguishes this coin from even other error coins. And magnified inspection also revealed the remnants of a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like mirror images of Lincoln's bust on the reverse, and the columns of the Lincoln Memorial faintly appearing behind the president's head on the obverse, a phenomenon highly prized by collectors for its technical fascination and visual allure. And still, the anomalies continue, because the AM in America on the reverse shows what collectors refer to as a wide AM configuration, an abnormality caused when reverse dies intended for proof coins were mistakenly used to strike circulation issues. A known but incredibly rare error that only occurred in a handful of transitional years, and until this 2006 specimen was discovered, it was thought that such wide AM issues were confined to earlier dates like 1998, 1999, and 2000, but this coin shattered that assumption, leading to a complete reevaluation of what was thought possible for post-2000 Lincoln cents. And even more bizarre is the absence of the designer's initials, FG, beneath the right side of the Lincoln Memorial. A known but exceptionally rare anomaly caused by excessive polishing of the die that inadvertently erases this small but essential design detail, a feature that again boosts the coin's uniqueness and mystery, and the mystery deepens even more when you realize that this coin exhibits strike doubling as well as die doubling, a condition where the coin was not only doubled during die creation, but also during the actual strike due to movement in the press itself, creating multiple layers of error that combine to form a one-of-a-kind numismatic specimen that exists at the extreme edge of what is physically and statistically possible in the minting process. And this coin wasn't discovered in a museum, a bank vault, or a coin shop. It was found by a schoolteacher in Ohio who was sorting coins with her students during a classroom activity about money, and upon noticing the odd coloration and strange design features, she brought it to a local dealer who immediately realized this was not an ordinary coin, setting off a chain of verifications, authentications, and analyses that culminated in the coin being certified by PCGS as not only genuine but the only known example of its kind, earning it a unique specimen designation and receiving the highest known grade ever given to a 2006 era penny. And once word got out, interest from elite collectors, private investors, museums, and international buyers flooded in, culminating in a once-in-a-lifetime auction event hosted by a major numismatic house, where the coin sold for a staggering $60 million after a bidding war that included over a dozen separate bidders from 3 continents. And what's even more compelling is the ongoing debate about how this coin could have been produced, with theories ranging from accidental striking on a foreign planchet to unauthorized use of experimental materials to the possibility that it was a deliberate test piece that slipped through the cracks during equipment calibration. And while the U.S. Mint has not officially commented on this coin, internal documents obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests hint at unusual production tests occurring in the spring of 2006, lending weight to the theory that this coin may be an escape test strike, and the coin's legend has only grown since its sale, with experts, YouTubers, authors, and documentarians exploring every possible angle of its origin and implications, sparking renewed interest in 2000s-era Lincoln cents and inspiring a wave of collectors to search their own jars and drawers for overlooked treasures that might harbor similar traits. And already, the impact of this discovery is being felt in the marketplace, with prices for 2006-era coins of all kinds rising sharply as collectors hope to find a sibling to the $60 million legend, and educational institutions are using this story as a case study in the importance of attention to detail, the value of curiosity, and the unpredictable rewards of exploring even the most mundane objects with a critical eye. And this single penny has ignited a movement, proving that fortune can lie in the most overlooked places, and that true rarity is not always a function of age or precious metals, but of unrepeatable circumstances and perfect imperfection. And if this story inspires you to look more closely at the coins in your pocket, your change jar, or your inherited collection, then its legacy continues. Last 2016 D1 cent USA coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mind-boggling stories in the world of rare coins, and that story revolves around a simple yet extraordinary 2016 D Lincoln penny, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, but whose true worth has skyrocketed to an unbelievable $10 million due to an astonishing array of minting errors, striking anomalies, rare die varieties, and historical oddities that make it one of the most coveted pieces in modern numismatic history. And as we unravel the fascinating tale behind this seemingly ordinary coin turned legendary artifact, you'll discover why collectors, dealers, and investors have all gone absolutely wild trying to track down any examples that share similar characteristics, and why the convergence of several extremely rare and improbable factors has transformed this 2016 D penny into a once-in-a-lifetime find worth more than most luxury homes, exotic cars, or even some priceless artworks. So buckle up and get ready for a journey through die clashes, off-center strikes, double dies, planchet errors, transitional mistakes, and minting miracles that turn this Denver-minted cent into a treasure of monumental proportions. And first, let's explore the context in which the coin was minted. 2016 was a year without any notable change to the Lincoln penny's design. continuing the shield reverse introduced in 2010. Yet this very stability set the stage for unnoticed anomalies to escape detection, and it's in this very stability that a collector might think there's nothing special to be found. And yet here comes this one coin with a story that defies all expectations, starting with a catastrophic double die obverse, where the profile of Lincoln appears grotesquely duplicated, his eye and lips seemingly mirrored slightly downward and to the right, giving a ghostly echo to his face. And this doubling is not the common machine doubling often dismissed by seasoned collectors, but a true hub doubling from a die that shifted ever so slightly during production, causing letters in the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty," to appear with strong, visible notches and spread lines under even moderate magnification. And more than that, this coin also suffers from a dramatic off-center strike of nearly 35%, which alone would make it rare and desirable, but when combined with the bold doubling and the fact that the date and mint mark are still fully visible, its desirability explodes into another realm entirely. And to add further intrigue, the coin was struck on a transitional planchet, believed by experts to be a leftover bronze blank intended for foreign coinage or a test strike using old alloy stock, which gave the coin a slightly different hue, an unusual weight, and a strange ring when dropped, all factors confirmed through metallurgical analysis by third-party grading services, adding layers of complexity to its already mysterious and valuable profile. And as if that weren't enough, microscopic inspection revealed a retained cut error forming along the upper rim near the word "United," where a piece of the die broke off but stayed in place long enough to deform the struck coins in a consistent, repeating way. But because the cut didn't fully detach until after only a small batch of coins had been struck, the presence of this error in conjunction with the other features makes this 2016 D penny part of an incredibly tiny subset, possibly unique or one of just a few in existence. And beyond the physical characteristics, there is the provenance and story of how this coin came to light. Originally discovered in a roll of circulated cents by a hobbyist in Colorado who had a habit of roll hunting on weekends, this particular cent stood out immediately for its color and strike, and upon further examination, the collector knew it was something special, eventually sending it off for grading and authentication, where it received a mint error designation, certified as MS65 red, with multiple major errors listed on the slab including double die obverse, off-center strike, transitional planchet, and retained cut, an unprecedented combination on a modern Lincoln penny, and word of the coin spread like wildfire through coin forums, auction houses, and social media groups, drawing attention from seasoned experts and eager investors alike, sparking debates over its valuation, some arguing for 5 figures, others 6, until finally a prominent collector, known for hoarding rare Lincoln cent varieties, placed a staggering $10 million valuation on the coin, citing its once-in-a-century convergence of multiple major minting mishaps, its outstanding state of preservation, its uncanny eye appeal, and the fact that no similar example had ever surfaced before or since. And while skeptics may argue over whether such a sum is sustainable or based in hype, the reality is that the numismatic market has repeatedly shown that rarity, story, and collector demand can combine to push prices into the stratosphere, and in this case, the coin's unique composition, dramatic visual errors, and fascinating backstory all contributed to its mythic status, making it a holy grail among modern coinage enthusiasts. And as we delve deeper, let's examine each of the errors in technical detail, starting with the double die obverse, which is believed to be the result of a Class V pivoted hub doubling, meaning the hub and die were slightly misaligned around a pivot point near Lincoln's neck, causing clockwise spread toward the peripheries. And what makes this so dramatic is that the doubling affected key lettering and was visible even to the naked eye, a rarity on modern cents where tighter quality control often catches such mistakes. Yet somehow, this one got through and was struck in conjunction with other anomalies, and moving to the off-center strike. It's important to recognize that most off-center errors with such a large deviation obscure the date or mint mark, severely reducing their value, but this one is an exception where everything of importance remains intact, dramatically increasing both the desirability and monetary value. And then we come to the transitional planchet issue, a matter that continues to baffle experts, since by 2016 the standard for Lincoln cents was the copper-plated zinc planchet introduced in 1982. Yet this coin weighed closer to the older bronze alloy used decades earlier, and further tests revealed a 95% copper composition, suggesting either a foreign blank or a leftover test piece was erroneously fed into the press, a possibility so rare it has numismatists drawing comparisons to the 1943 bronze cent or the 1983 copper cent, both multi-million-dollar rarities, giving even more weight to the extraordinary nature of the find, and when combined with the retained cud, an error so complex and unusual that it requires not only a broken die, but also the perfect timing in the production cycle to leave an imprint. Without obliterating the coin's features, we are left with a near miraculous convergence of minting chaos resulting in what can only be described as a modern masterpiece of American-era coinage. And yet the story continues to evolve as the coin has been displayed at major coin shows, featured in auction catalogs, and discussed in scholarly articles, all of which contribute to its legacy and increase its fame. And even now, years after its discovery, collectors continue to search rolls and boxes of 2016 pennies hoping to find something similar, dreaming of striking it rich with a copper-colored marble hiding among the ordinary. But so far, no other coin has surfaced with the exact same blend of features, making this particular penny not just rare but possibly unique, a fact that cements its place in numismatic history. And as new collectors enter the hobby, stories like this become fuel for their passion, a symbol of the surprises that still exist in the world of pocket change, and a reminder that even in an age of digital currency and mass production, there is still room for human error, mechanical unpredictability, and sheer luck to create something truly extraordinary. And so this 2016 Lincoln penny, a coin that by all rights should have been just another copper-colored dot in the sea of billions, instead became a beacon of mystery and wonder, a financial phenomenon, and a collector's dream worth $10 million. And as we continue to explore more rare finds, we encourage you to check your change, search your rolls, and never stop hunting because the next record-breaking coin could be hiding right in your hand. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins, where every cent has the potential to change your life.